Okay, so in section 3 of module 2, we talk about how the strategist assesses the macro environment. And there's really three questions that the strategist needs to be thinking about in terms of the macro environment. First is, which component of the macro environment is most important to the firm right now? So we use that example of oil and oil prices to the airline industry. So, jet fuel is this huge component huge cost component to the airlines. And the price of oil, therefore, really influences the cost of goods sold that the airlines have to account for. So that's one piece. That's the first question. The strategist also needs to be thinking about what are the emerging trends, right? What's happening in the macro environment that we need to be aware of? And so from this perspective, we can use things like the scenario analysis. We can put kind of best case, worst case, kind of most likely case scenarios in place that assess macro environmental components that are important to the firm's success. And here again, we talk about oil, right? There's that nice example in this module about the various scenario analyses for oil price. What's interesting is, as of the recording of this video right now, oil prices are down around $50 a barrel, much lower than even the best case scenario. And there's not a single financial analyst out there that predicted that OPEC would continue to produce as much oil as they're producing, thus driving oil prices as low as they are right now. So even scenario analysis don't generate kind of perfect information, but they at least give the strategist a sense for what the components are that could be influencing the macro environment going forward. And then finally, the strategist needs to be thinking about what are the future kind of components of the macro environment that could be influencing my firm. And here we think about things like material sciences innovation, right? There was a nice little video on graphene. It's this amazing substance that can do all these great things. How is that going to influence all these various industries, right? Or we can go back to oil, right? We like this oil example in this case, or in this section of this module. Do these low oil prices that we're in right now, do they drive the U.S. Policymakers to allow the U.S. to export oil? And if that's the case, then how does that influence oil prices going forward? So the strategist needs to be thinking about not just what the current issues are and kind of how those current issues are trending, but what those future issues in the macro environment are and how they might influence the firm's success.